Um, Welcome to the Reorganization Information Meeting. I want to thank the Reorganizational Committee, Jim Huberty, Georgia Renne, Deby Anderson, Thurman Howard, Melody Knox, Stephen Crouse, and Tricia Malone for their time, effort, and dedication over the past 8 months in shaping something meaningful. And we're now really excited to be able to share this information with you. Jim Huberty will be sharing with you the organizational structure, the committee, and vision for the future of the UC Master Gardener program of Riverside County. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jim take over, and please be ready to provide us with feedback on what we have proposed.
Great, thank you, Rosa. And thank you for joining us today. And we thank you for your patience while we work to design a new organizational structure for the Master Gardener program. And thank Rosa for her guidance of the committee members during the last 8 months. Before I get started with the presentation, I want to share the mission of the Master Gardener program again, since the committee throughout the process was focused on creating an organization that supports it. So I'll read it for you. The mission of the Master Gardeners is to extend research-based knowledge and information on home horticulture, pest management, and sustainable landscape practices to the residents of California. So why reorganize? Well, I guess possibility and opportunity. Many of you know the history of how we got here and why it became necessary to reconsider the program structure to ensure that it met the needs of the community, the volunteers, and fulfilled the mission. As the committee began its work, we had to answer the key questions about what we wished to accomplish by reorganizing and how it would prepare us for the future. We identified 3 key objectives. The first was to expand the program, not just within our current footprint, but more broadly across the county. We also wanted the expansion to include improvements in the quality of our engagements with the community, both in terms of the information we provided, but also in the extension of opportunities in which they could participate. Second, we heard loud and clear that we needed to strengthen the sense of community between the Master Gardeners. We identified several ways to make that happen, to provide more opportunities to learn and grow both as Master Gardeners, but also as leaders. And one way to do that would be to expand volunteer opportunities. And we also had to improve the way we manage communication, resources, and administrative tasks. So what were our reorganization priorities as we started to move forward, and what were our goals? First, to engage the community on the ground where they are. That means expand the opportunities that we have in geographies we may not currently be, but that we meet them on the ground where they are. Second, we wanted to expand the connections with the public. What does that mean? That means we want to make sure we utilize and maximize our use of all the possible touch points. That includes things like helpline, like information tables, like social media, those sort of things. So we wanted to, again, expand, build, and utilize those touch points. We wanted to enroll the public in project activities downstream. Once we have them in our what do you call it, Riverside community. Through that engagement, we could attract and recruit new Master Gardeners. By expanding the venues and learning opportunities, we could set up more opportunities team on site, but also to engage more with peers who share projects with similar activities. And we'll talk a bit more about that later in the presentation. We also could do a better job identifying and providing more opportunities for volunteers to participate in project activities that would deepen their knowledge, their skills, and experience as volunteers, and that hopefully would help develop leaders and bench strength for the organization. So, how were we, or what was the way we were? Back in September 2023, we had 3 advisory councils. Those councils did just what the name implied. They advised Rosa on the activities, challenges, issues, and opportunities in 2 regions. Each council had leaders who'd also sit on the executive advisory board. The boards worked with project leaders in the area to manage activities in that region, and Rosa worked primarily with the board leaders. One issue in this structure was that there were nearly double the number of projects in the desert versus West County, while the number of volunteers and populations in the regions were the converse. In the desert, that sometimes resulted in stretching of resources across multiple projects. Since the advisory boards were dissolved, many project leaders have been forced to go directly to Rosa, and the amount of administrative oversight and decision-making for all projects has become overwhelming. In December 2024, Rosa formed a reorganization committee to examine the work of the program, to review data about our activities, how they supported the mission, and if there were any opportunities to consolidate, streamline, or improve the way we operate. And the result was a new organization structure that I will share with you now. In the new organization, program leadership continues as is, completing the tasks that grow and support the program. Rita Clemens remains as the area county director. Rosa is still the volunteer services coordinator, and an area advisor will be identified to fill the role formerly held by Janet Arden. Rosa's office will also continue to work with Master Gardeners to deliver the Master Gardener training class and continuing education. She'll support the engagement of Master Gardeners through social and recognition events that bring volunteers together, and her office will continue to execute the myriad administrative tasks that support the day-to-day activities of the program. What's new will be the role of regional coordinator. In a county as vast as Riverside County, the needs of the community, the availability of volunteers, the climate and horticulture, and many other factors vary greatly. Regional coordinators will be responsible for the people and the places in their region and to understand, articulate, and address those unique needs. Project team administrators will manage the projects and practices that exist across the county and that engage in similar activities and have similar characteristics, kind of like the 80-20 rule. 80% of what they do is going to be functionally the same. Teams will operate across the entire county, and we created 6 teams initially. They are public information and events, school gardens, community education, grow labs, and media communications. The project team administrator will ensure that the projects engage in best practices, provide and utilize shared resources, and complete required administrative tasks. Within each of those teams will be project leads. You'll notice that it's plural. Doesn't mean that there will be a single lead in each of those areas. There will be project leads. The project leads, currently known as area or project coordinators, will continue doing the work that they've always done, and over time will find a logical fit for their project into one of the functional teams. They will do this collaboratively to get it right. Finally, the helpline plays an integral part in the receipt and distribution of information that supports all program activities and remains under the leadership of Jane Payne and her 18 Master Gardener volunteers. Together, these activities form a collaborative organization that is focused on success. I'd also like to share a bit more detail about leadership of 3 of the teams: the Public Information and Events team, the school gardens team, and the media and communications team. Thurman Howard, who has led the award-winning gold miner program for many years, will initially lead the public information and events team. He will apply best practices learned from guiding hundreds of markets and events across the county to further expand into the Coachella Valley and South County. School Gardens also has strong leadership across the county in all three regions and will continue to be led by Kim Coons-Leonard and Jax Patterson. The team will continue to work with project leads in all regions to deliver excellence to students with the support of Kathy Steckman in South County. Finally, the media and communication team has individual leads in each discipline and will continue to collaborate in those roles as a team. The three remaining project team administration positions are open, as are the three regional coordinator positions. I also want to share with you a county map that roughly delineates the parameters of the three regions: Metro Riverside, South County, and Coachella Valley. Although we generally think about the regions in this way and have sort of structured the organization in that way, master gardeners are not bound by their geography, but by community, the community in which they are engaged. For example, if you happen to be in the pass, you happen to be in Banning, you may choose to do most of your work in the Coachella Valley or in Riverside Metro. So let's next talk about the program engagement cycle, or what I would like to call the virtuous cycle. It starts when we provide information to the public. This builds awareness, and we deliver it in a variety of ways. We do it through information tables, farmers markets, events, and the helpline. As Thurman Howard calls it, it's Ask the Gardener, and this is our initial point of contact with the public. It's our first impression, and it does matter. This step in the process is essential in forming relationships with the public, but also creating a master gardener identity or brand that feeds our work down the line. Second, as part of our mission, we educate the public, not just addressing their immediate needs, but provide an opportunity to deepen their understanding and knowledge. And we do this with a number of activities, including gardening basics, school gardens, docents, speakers bureau, and the helpline. Third, we not only help them know more, we can help them to get their hands dirty and do more. As you can begin to see, with each successive activity, we deepen our connection with the public, and if we're lucky, we can build experience. We can enroll them in the greatest of opportunities, which is becoming master gardeners themselves and joining the community of hardworking and committed volunteers. The virtuous cycle takes place when those volunteers, master gardener volunteers, go back into the community to build awareness, build knowledge, and build capability. So let's talk about the organizational roles. Regional coordinators are, as I said previously, focused on people and places. They represent the voice of the master gardeners in the region. So what does that mean? It means that we recognize that although we are one program, there are variations on the theme in our activities based on where we engage with the public. For example, regional coordinators in the Coachella Valley understand that there are many seasonal master gardeners, seasonal residents, and fewer activities in the summertime there. We need to understand that difference when we schedule activities that require resources. The regional coordinator will help us do that. We also understand that we also must understand and engage master gardeners in the region as a team and capitalize on their time and effort when they are most available, developing and maintaining community as a full year effort. Finally, the regional coordinators will work with local project leads and master gardeners to identify new opportunities, help them to pitch the value, and making sure that they are properly aligned with the project team that can best support that project. Project team administrators. Project team administrators are focused on projects and processes. The value and benefit of establishing project teams ensures that we deliver consistent and reliable information and services to the community. Again, that's the brand. The project team administrator will work with project leads from across the county to share best practices, raise concerns, and advocate for additions and changes that expand the program and improve efficient delivery. Teams will also enable interested project leaders and master gardeners to develop relationships with their peer project teams across the county, and if desired, to develop their leadership skills for a future role. Finally, just as the regional coordinator will help regional project leads to identify and promote new projects, the project team administrator will help to integrate any new projects into their team. Project leads. Project leads are focused on both things. They're focused on projects and processes, but also they ensure that they're tailored to meet the needs of the people in the places where they deliver. Well, project leads are a new title, but the same role. Formerly, area coordinators or project coordinators. Over time, all project coordinators and project and area coordinators will be called project leads. Nothing changes in terms of the roles or the projects or how they deliver. Also, there can be multiple project leads on a project team from a region. For example, there could be a project lead for farmers markets and another for special events, both represented on a project team from a single region. Project leads will continue to be advocates and voices for their projects and to interact locally with their regional coordinators. So given these new roles and the structure of the organization, how will master gardeners benefit? We assume that the activities that master gardeners engage in today will be no different. However, with integration of projects into teams led by project leads, they will gain many benefits. First, through project teams, master gardeners will collaborate with peers across the county. They'll develop relationships with them, which we talked about earlier. They'll learn best practices from them, better utilize resources, and remove barriers to expand into new areas and audiences. A simple example would be like ordering and distributing supplies across the full county and taking advantage of economies of scale or volume discounts, rather than a single project saying, I need this particular resource. Second, master gardeners will also have the support of regional coordinators when needed. Their primary focus, again, will be on addressing the needs of the people in the region and articulating the unique characteristics and needs of the place. They will benefit from regional coordinators in the area and be getting that done. The coordinators in the region will raise regional concerns, share regional stories, and most importantly, renew focus on regional community. That's essential for the master gardeners. Third, project leads will still provide reporting on their activities to the team administrator and share resources. The administrator will consolidate that information and deliver it to Rosa. They will also consolidate budget and finance activities that will enable sharing across a pool of money where it's most needed. What we do today is oftentimes each project has a budget amount. The team administrator will consolidate all those funds, and when opportunities emerge and or there's a need to move funds around within the team, they're going to be able to do that under the new structure. And finally, it simplifies communication to leadership at the project team administrator, project lead, and or regional coordinator levels. So essentially, everybody will have 2 points of contact. It'll either be their team lead, their project lead, or the regional level or the regional coordinator lead. So moving forward, what's it going to look like? What does the change mean for me? How will we know that we're successful? First and foremost, master gardeners are the premier source of information and research in Riverside County. People rely on us for accurate and relevant information, and we aim to deliver that and promote the Master Gardener brand. We also want master gardeners to more easily know who to work with, how to resolve issues or challenges, and to advance opportunities. We think that administrative tasks will be streamlined and more easily managed and reported through the new structure. We also expect to capitalize on economies of scale and reduce one-offs as much as possible and share resources. And finally, we believe the master gardeners will be encouraged to engage more, learn more, and experience more. We want to develop program and community leaders for the future. So what does the future look like in this new organization? In the near term, we will fill the 3 project team administrator and 3 regional coordinator roles as quickly as possible. Most importantly, we expect to move quickly to develop the public information and events team as new opportunities become available in the fall across the county and with the start of the Master Gardener training class. We want to ensure that they have ample opportunities to participate in these essential learning and confidence building activities. We anticipate that once we've developed standard operating procedures for project activities, we can expand to other venues easily within new geographies. And Master Gardeners will have more opportunities to volunteer, to get their hours, and more importantly, to build skills and capabilities that build confidence. So, what can you do? Well, first thing I would say, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. It's important to continue to do the valuable work that we've been doing all during this process. As we move forward, ask questions, provide feedback, and share ideas. We do have a plan, but we don't have all the answers. Consider stepping into one of the new positions. By the way, if you happen to wish to take on one of those roles, it doesn't mean you have to give up your project leadership. But you have to design the role sort of the way that you choose if you choose to step into it. At the end of the day, we understand that change can be difficult and that it can take time. We're not promising this is going to be done anytime too soon. The process is iterative. It will take time, and we will learn as we grow with your input, with your help, and your support. So it will take time, and please, therefore, be patient, respect one another, and if you're like us, after all this work and where we are today, I hope that you also get excited. So if you have questions following this presentation, here's how you can get them answered. First of all, questions about the reorganization or roles are answered in the FAQs that are available to you, or you can contact a committee member. At the bottom of your FAQ sheet, should you download it or have it, you'll find the email addresses for the committee members that are listed here. In addition to that, I, your presenter, will also serve as a liaison to help Master Gardeners navigate the reorganization. Use me if you need additional clarity, wish to share feedback, want to share ideas or concerns, or if needed, to facilitate productive discussions in support of the reorganization. I also think I'm pretty good at providing examples of how the organization will work should you have a thought about how, or some confusion about how it might work for you. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. And with that completes this presentation. Rosa, would you have a closing comment?
I just want to thank Jim and the entire committee once again for all of the work that they have done, putting this together, being creative, And once again, we do want your input. We want your feedback on this. It's not set in stone. We know that there will be changes, but work with us. And really, I appreciate you guys being here for the program. This is a very important program that needs master gardeners that are dedicated, as each and every one of you are. Thank you, Jim, and thank you all.
Thank you.